All right, so now we're going to register our SPO as a candidate to the Midnight Block Producer Committee. To do that, I'm going to use the Midnight Node Docker project. I'm going to use the Midnight Node Docker project because at the time of making this video, the Midnight Node is available as a Docker image. And for various reasons, we're going to have to perform the registration within the Midnight Node container shell itself. Now, there are some scripts here that are going to make this a whole lot easier for us. It's within the Midnight Node Docker project, which is the same repo that you cloned when running the partner chain dependency services. However, I opened this in VS Code just to help make this visually easier to understand. Otherwise, some of you might be in Terminal, but you're welcome to use whatever editor you like. I'm going to use VS Code here to help reference the paths of things a lot easier for this tutorial. Okay. In the Midnight Node Docker project, which you've cloned, if not, feel free to clone it. We have this Midnight shell script. What this is going to do is create a container called Midnight. It's also going to create a data directory within this local project here. This is going to be used for key storage for our partner chain keys. And then when it creates that container, it's going to define that data directory that we're going to create is going to be a shared volume for the container. Okay. And finally, this is going to enter the container shell for us. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in my terminal here. I'm going to invoke the Midnight shell script. And you can see it automatically created the container for me, mounted that data directory, and automatically put me within the container's shell. Now, something that you should know, those of you who are familiar with Docker might know this already, but this string here is actually container ID. If you ever need to reference the Docker container ID explicitly for whatever reason. But we have the shell script to help enter that container automatically for you. For example, if I were to exit, I'm not outside the container. If I wanted to enter that container again, I could just do Midnight shell and they'll put me straight into the container. Okay. Another thing here is you look at my VS Code, if you look in the file system, you can see that data directory is actually created. It's empty because we didn't create our keys yet, but that shared volume is there. We can even verify if the shared volume is working correctly if we simply create a file, let's say temporary, let's just make a dummy text file. All right, put some just stuff in there. And now if I go on the shell, I'm still in the container file system, but if I do ls, I should see that data directory. And if I go into that directory and list files, I see that temporary text file still there. So now I verified that shared data directory is a working shared volume with the container. Now this is important because when we run Midnight Node within the container, it's going to need the paths to our Cardano keys. So the way we can do that is to simply put our Cardano keys within this data directory, and that will allow our container to discover our Cardano keys when we do the registration.